Oh shoot, my bra's hanging out. Hang on.
I always think of
I gotta be classy.
Redneck girl.
I gotta class this up a bit.
I like to like add mine sometimes to the outfit, and I'm like,
Your bra strap?
Yeah, I'm like, it's part of the outfit, guys.
We had a white trash bash one year.
Wait, I'm white trash because
No,
I want to do
no.
this.
It just made me think because I had my bra strap hanging out the whole time. I dressed up as like Peg Bundy, and we had like our RV in the back and flamingos, which now I learned is a sign of swingers.
Oh, I thought that was pineapples.
That's what
I think
I
it's
say.
both.
Pineapples.
I think it's both. Upside down pineapple and pink flamingos in your yard. And I was like, oh, my grandma would have been stunned.
Oh my god. Did she have tons of pink flamingos?
She had some pink flamingos. She also had the gal, that bent over the garden with the underwear bloomers hanging out.
Did she have the inappropriate jockey?
I don't know.
What's that? The one that like
Well, the jockey who's black in your yard, yes.
that like holds the horses,
Yes.
the horse
Yes.
container?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
We have a couple of those houses still around, I think, right?
I feel like she did have the Hispanic with the hat taking a nap in the garden, though. So
one time,
siesta.
different times.
Yeah.
well,
okay.
I mean, sort of, I guess. One time, my neighbor had one of those, and I did everything in my power to try and acquire this siesta guy. I was like, I'll mow your lawn.
Yeah.
I'll take care of your flowers. And he's like, yes, okay, for this siesta guy. And
Yeah.
Your drink
I did
is on the bar.
all that and
bar
for
out there,
nothing.
counter.
We're talking to our guest right now.
Get the keys from here. Keys around the
behind the
corner.
door.
There you go. Yes. This is producing on the fly and doing a show on the fly. Bye. See you when you're done.
Hi, bye.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is TV. This is great TV right here. So
We like to prepare our guests beforehand with, their bathroom breaks, their drinks, and make sure they're all ready to go.
what would you like to discuss?
Well, so I can't wait to discuss this because it's something I want to bring on with a guest. And it's something I've experienced I don't want to say just recently lately, but it's kind of come to mind where, excuse me?
Daily.
Daily?
Daily.
Okay.
Oh.
So you run into people now. We are a small town community. We all love the same local establishments. We all go to those, but there have been times, where I know I've said things that have disappointed people, and then boom, I'm cut off, canceled, you don't like me. And I know this. I'm not oblivious to it. But then I see you and I run into you. Like sometimes I'm sitting right next to you at a table at one of my favorite local restaurants. Sometimes I'm holding the door open. Obviously, you don't look to see who you're holding the door open sometimes. And I've had it just recently, where it's one of those people. Or, you're going down the Hy-Vee aisles and one's coming this way and you're going that way and there's no breaking contact. What do you do?
You're talking about just uncomfortable situations of people that that aren't
So do you
happy
give them
with
the
you?
friendly smile? Do you say hi? Or do you look the other way and pretend like, the sky is so pretty, beautiful and blue?
Here's my take. I don't ever really take anything too personally, so I guess I expect everyone else not to. So I don't ever really...
So you're always waving?
Always.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, well, it's not like I guess I understand that people might take things that I say to heart or take offense to it, and I think maybe I've had one or two of those, but I always try to gloss over it with, hey, how are you,
Yeah.
And if they don't like me, that's okay, but I'm never going to turn the other cheek and I don't avoid people.
Very rarely, though, have I don't get me wrong, you stand for things, but very rarely have I ever seen you, kind of go after somebody for whatever. You're the type of person that will see, try to see both sides, or at least, in conversationally you'll say this, and I know, where you're coming from, because it's the right thing to do, to be professional and trying to go both ways. Now, I have not always experienced that in my life, and sometimes I have been like, nah. Yeah. And that's where I've caught myself with, do I make eye contact with those people? Do I say hi? And I do say hi. I feel like we're in such a small community.
It's unavoidable to see everybody.
Just because I didn't agree with something you did,
yeah,
doesn't mean I don't want to like make eye contact, smile, because that's a big thing too. I recently saw somebody say something about that. Just simply like when you run into people, instead of looking into the ground, and I know that like I find myself doing that, but you know who we find doing that more than anything is our children.
Yeah.
So it's like lead by example. Like I don't want you looking at the ground when we're crossing people.
Yeah.
Eye contact shouldn't be scary. It should be friendly. It should be something that we demonstrate with other people. But then again, like I said, there are uncomfortable situations, and to each their own. I mean,
I think even if I hear that somebody said anything bad about me, I always teach my kids, you never know how anybody sees you, or you can only do what you can do, and whatever everybody else feels is on them. I think I say that all the time to my kids. Like, you can only do what you can do. And if I'm crossing paths with someone that maybe I've said something on here that they may not like, or I've said something about someone they love, or something about something they did, that doesn't mean that I don't like them as a person, or that I'm canceling them, or that I should be canceled. I think it's like, we're more complex than just a statement that we make or an action that we take. And just because I didn't like one thing you did or said online, or I argued with something, doesn't mean that I even know you as a person. It doesn't mean that I don't like you. And it surely doesn't mean that I won't hold the door for you or say hi to you when I see you in public. And I hope that in those actions, you know, when people see me do that, I hope it kind of encourages more of that, because there's no reason that even though we disagree, we can't still get along. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in society today. And I think, you're right. When you demonstrate those qualities as a parent, or even just someone, right? Someone in society, that more people hopefully will take that same viewpoint. I hope. I don't know. And I'm not saying that I'm I'm some kind of angel, no, because I have people that I'm like,
I was just
you're not my style.
I'm not a saint, and there are probably 3 people that I would slam the door in their face.
Really? I was just going to ask you that.
I'm not going to tell you the 3 people on here, but yeah, there are people that have crossed that list where I'm like, and bye.
So you have enemies.
If you don't stand, yes, because anybody that has ever stood for something has enemies, and I have stood for things, and it's just human nature that creates enemies sometimes.
Really?
I don't know. Bob?
Well, I've been doing this a long time, so I've got a bit of a list. So it kind of depends on the situation, though. If it's something where I feel I was in the right and that person was
an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm all fine to walk up and go, "How you doing?"
But if you got to eat crow, then you're like looking down.
No, if I got to eat crow, I just go, "Okay."
Yeah.
And if it's just like an extreme, uncomfortable hate situation where, hate's probably too strong a word, but there are times where if I'll see somebody and I can get out of the way soon enough, I'll get out of the way soon enough. But for the most part, it's like, okay. Yea, before go through the valley shadow of death, I fear no evil.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that I have any enemies. I know that I stand for things, but I think that I compartmentalize things. So let's say that I disagree with someone in this on this viewpoint or this agenda or something. That doesn't mean that we can't talk about something else and get along in a different area. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, because I definitely compartmentalize things. And I think there's a prime example this week with Senator Durbin announcing his retirement. We post the story, and everybody's like, boo hiss, boo hiss, boo hiss, because he's a Democrat in downstate Illinois.
I tried to do a noise.
Once upon a time, he was a pro-life Democrat member of the United States Representatives, but then he realized pretty quickly in his political career that pro-life Democrats go the way of the dodo, and they don't last. So he has this epiphany that, I'm pro-choice now. That really made a lot of people upset. And then just as the red wave came across Southern Illinois, he always still had the Democrat base in Chicago he wasn't going to lose. But now, at least to his credit, he's like, okay, if I run again, I'm going to be 80. It'll be 88 when I'm done. So let's not do that.
Term limit.
Also, he was also a big help in us getting that Quincy Bay money for the Corps of Engineers and the locks and all that stuff. He's been a big proponent of a lot of the river stuff. So to his credit, he has done that. And I know
Who
everybody
wouldn't be a proponent of that, though?
we had a congresswoman who had to kind of be talked into it because she was like, ooh, earmarks bad, earmarks bad. It's like, if you want this project done, we need earmarks.
Huh.
So,
88 is too old.
well, yeah.
And definitely too old to be talking about your choices in pro-life or
Well, no,
whatever.
but he did that years ago. He did that. He made the pro-life, pro-choice switch years ago.
Like in his 60s? Like,
Yeah, probably
I mean-
like in he's still a congressman before he became a senator. I
Okay.
think he did it before he became a senator because he knew he couldn't win the Senate race before that.
not to dog on him, but like, at that age, you have this epiphany.
And he apparently came across somebody in Quincy, Illinois that changed his mind.
Okay.
Some woman's
see,
story
I think-
who changed his mind.
I
That's
don't
what
think
he
that's
said.
a bad thing. I think when you get, it's what I say, you only know what you know, and then when you learn, if you can grow and change your mind based on things that you've learned through life, that's okay. I think that's just human progression, but I don't know that.
This was a change of mind for good.
He's
Yeah.
also a Catholic, so
Yeah.
of course that rankled some people. We had priests in our town who said if he shows up at our church, I'm not giving him communion. And then I believe Bishop Paprocki said the same thing. So
that's
they've got that.
gross.
So
Can you
I'm
do
just
that?
saying.
Yeah,
Sure
they
you
can do whatever they want.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They're their own law.
But
Well, I think unless you're messing with my family, namely my kids or anyone super close to me, I don't really have any enemies.
Same. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if it affects my kid, my kid, but, my kids and the community and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if it affects that angle, that's where I guess I go mama bear and I see red. It's hard for me to see the other side sometimes. I try my best to see it. But that doesn't, unless you're one of those three people, I'm still going to hold the door open for you.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people
can we
that
get those names?
No.
No names?
No names.
I'm one of the people, I try to teach this to my kids too. Think about, is this going to matter in a year? Is this going to matter in 5 years? If not, you probably shouldn't spend a bunch of time letting it take up
Yeah.
space in your brain. And when you have a problem with someone, you don't even know if they have a problem with you. So you're just basically punishing
Don't
yourself.
dwell on it.
Yeah, it just
I
doesn't
really
make any
try
sense.
not to do that.
But what I
It's
do want
like-
you to dwell on is if you're one of my three names. I just want you to think about
And you know
that.
who you are,
Yeah.
okay?
Do they?
Shame,
Do they know?
shame. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so,
yeah. If they're watching this and they're like, oh, I'm probably one of them, you're probably one of them, so I don't really need to call it out.
Wow.
And if you're an enemy, or if you think I'm an enemy, I'd love to hear about it. I really would. Because I feel like I just go through life being like, I just, whatever.
Shoot, sometimes half the time I'm in here, I'm like, what's going on?
Well, I think that, obviously not everybody's going to like you all the time, but hopefully when you see people in the grocery
You know
store.
how you find out when people don't like you? When you run for office. That's
Yeah.
when you find that out.
Really?
So yeah. So
I look forward
but
to
then
this next one.
when more people like you, you win.
You win.
Yes.
That's how it works. So speaking of winners, we're going to talk to our guest, and we'll do that right after this.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
What have you been missing on Muddy River Gems? You won't believe your eyes. My crew and I have been bringing you stories for more than 20 years on PBS and now Muddy River News. And we're just getting started.
Speaking of good time, April Azotea.
Hello.
Winner, chicken dinner,
Yeah.
sister. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kind of a long road for you, huh?
That is like the understatement
Yeah, I was
of,
gonna
the,
say.
of the century.
Yes.
I want to say thank you for agreeing to this, Club Muddy. So April did agree to this. regardless of your win or loss,
Yeah.
we were going to sit here. We were going to chat about Ward 2. We're going to chat about Hannibal. We're going to chat
It was
about...
almost a month ago, I feel like we did this.
Yep.
Because it was going to be 2 or 3 weeks out from the April
the
8th.
original one, but
Yeah.
then we rescheduled and said, hey, regardless if you win or lose this one, will you do it? And I think that's very admirable that you like agreed to it.
100%.
Like even if I lose, I'll
Yeah.
be here
Yeah.
to chat.
Win or lose, it was still a win-win for me for multiple reasons, but it's a definitely a different feeling now that I've officially won. I kind of had like a feeling that morning, like good vibes that I was going to win. I wasn't expecting to win by that much, but the people have spoken and people showed up and showed out, and I am super, super thankful and grateful.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
talk about
awesome.
the people that showed out. How many? Because it was a little less than the first election. How many?
Overall total you're talking
Yep.
about? Yeah. So the first overall total, I want to say it was like a little less than 350 between all three candidates. So then when it went to a special election just between Tammy and myself, she actually had about 40 votes less, and then I had almost 40 votes more. So like I said, I was not expecting that by any means.
Delta,
Slide.
yeah. So how many people live in Hannibal? Do you know?
Gosh, I want to say around like 18,000.
Okay. Do you know, like-
approximately. So just in my ward, in second ward, it's so weird saying my ward,
Yeah,
like my
it's
ward.
cool.
cool.
I
So
love the ownership.
just in my ward, registered voters, I want to say around like 1,800, which is crazy to think about because the April 8th election, only 3 people have been like commenting about that, and I'm like, yeah, it is sad because not enough people do get out and vote.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where people think that their vote doesn't make a difference. It truly does, and that's why I was saying every vote counts.
Yeah.
Because it could be a difference of 1, 2 counts that makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to like reiterate to people.
We've learned
this
that
last
time
one.
and time
Yeah.
again in Quincy.
yeah.
You know, like we've had, well, just recently a landslide mayoral election, and that is due to the fact of a low voter turnout. Not to dismiss her success. Congratulations, Linda. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you know, a lot of that was that. And then prior to that, in another mayoral, it was for the Republican candidate. You know, one person won by 35 votes. So, like, when you
Wow.
say every vote counts, every vote does count. and
April 8th, I think
especially-
I won by like 18 or 19
Yeah.
votes.
Yeah.
I loved your comment. You were like, it's amazing how many people told me they went to vote, and I can see everybody who voted. I'm like, oh, you, I was
Literally.
like, talk about calling people out. She was like, listen, people.
Well, and it wasn't, I don't want to say like a scare or like guilt
No.
tactic, but it kind of was like you literally said to my face that you voted for me, and I don't think people realize we have
You can
kind of
see it.
privy to that list and who exactly voted.
Yeah.
There's people that said they voted for me that have literally never voted ever.
Yeah.
Presidential or municipal,
Really?
like have never voted.
Yeah, if you didn't do it, just don't say it. That's
But-
a
Don't,
little
don't,
wonky.
yeah, my word is everything to me. So if I say I'm going to vote for you, I'm going
I'm
to vote
voting,
for you.
yeah.
So don't say that you voted for me and didn't, like.
And word, having, you know, your word means so much, especially when you're running for something, and your word obviously means so much to you and what you plan to do for Hannibal, which I want to get into a lot more of that. But
Let's take it back to our beginning segment. So you see these people who said, hey, I voted for you. You know damn good and well that they didn't. Do you say something to them? Do you just let it go?
So let me tell you, if I'm being completely
We're just going
honest.
with those people first, not the rest
Yeah,
of
so
the
if I'm
line.
being
Yeah.
completely honest, so after I had privy to this list, after the official results were released and I got this list, and so the first thing that I did when I got this list is I went through and I started highlighting who, because the list we get is a list of all the registered voters and when they voted last.
Okay.
And so I went through and I highlighted everybody that voted on April 8th, right? And then I went back through and I'm like starring like who in my notebook said they committed to voting for me, and the amount of names, I'm talking over 70.
ooh,
Over 70. And these people that said that they were going to vote for me, if they would have, like, I don't think there would have been a special election. And I also want to address, because a lot of people are like, oh, she must have an in at Muddy. There's been a couple like articles released that have essentially made me look bad, like the April 8th. They're like, saying special election, I did not mean it like, oh, I should win because there has to be a special election. That wasn't the case at all. And you guys are doing your job, journalism.
Yeah, so, I saw that comment too. That was good.
And
there are always going to be those people who they like to come up with there has to be a reason. Well, the reason is that people showed up to vote for you because they like what you stand for. And Muddy River News, especially leading up to the election, did a really good job. And this is me, pimping our own shit, but we did a really good job of staying unbiased and cutting letters to the editor off and making sure that we ran both sides. And I'm not saying that, people didn't show up one way or the other for you or for, what was the other gal's name?
Tammy Riley.
Tammy.
Okay, but I also want to say real quick.
Sorry, that was not a slam. I just am not good with names. But
she's got a lot going on, people. She's got to cover all the news and all the things.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I do want to add, we do advertisement for politicians, but that doesn't mean that we endorse those politicians.
Yeah.
We give that same opportunity to anybody that runs. So
hell,
yes,
I don't even endorse half the things that Bob says.
No.
Yeah, so
fair enough.
But so just to nip that one in the bud.
Yeah.
April, yes, she advertised with us. Tammy had the same opportunity to advertise with us.
I needed to spend donation money, period.
But that also doesn't mean we endorse. That's how
and city
advertisement
council
works.
is non-partisan, and it was so frustrating.
That's so weird too.
Like it's so frustrating to me that I was getting labeled like an extreme liberal or a diehard conservative, and this is the thing is
What are you, April?
I have not and will not talk about that because at the end of the day, the citizens. I'm not just for second ward, I'm voting on all the citizens, which is a mixture of Democrat and Republican.
Man, I wish Quincy would take a page from Hannibal's book on that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, everybody's like, you need to move back to Quincy. I was like, that's a hard pass. That is a hard pass. There's a reason why I have a business in...
Move back. Move back. Let's start there. So
Yeah.
originally you were from...
Quincy, Illinois. Born and raised, graduated from QHS, Blue Devil Pride.
Yeah.
Sorry, just saying.
What year did you graduate?
2006.
So you're 1 year younger than me.
you're
I
a
met
baby.
April
You guys are babies.
in
AP Lang, Steinke's class.
Steinke's class. Actually, also the one that stands out to me the most is Sanders'
Sociology
class.
Sociology.
She was, oh my God, she was actually really good at taking notes. And I would be like, hey, let me see them notes, because she understood it. And she understood the concept of sociology where I was just like, the sky is so pretty, beautiful and blue.
Do you know the classes that I excelled for whatever reason, the best in was business, speech, and debate.
Really?
Imagine that.
I believe it. So I want to take it back to, because we were tying it back to what we talked about before we welcomed you as a guest. But so we're talking about seeing people in the grocery store. Okay, so you've been very outspoken.
I was over there oh.
Yeah, so you've been very outspoken. You've been outspoken as far as your treatment from the city council prior to being welcomed in, right?
Yes.
And we'll use welcomed loosely because I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll talk about that too. But you've been very outspoken with your treatment in them timing you. You've been very outspoken about your opponents. You've been very outspoken about other people in Hannibal, about corruption. And I'll do this because I don't know what's what and what's not because I'm not
now that everything's done, I'm ready to air it all out and make that muddy clear instead of muddy.
But so when you see these people, and especially in Hannibal because it's a tighter knit community than even Quincy, are you still civil? How do you separate? Do you separate? What's that look like for you?
Yeah. So for one, anybody that knows me, what you see is what you get. And I honestly unrelated to a professional, I like to make things awkward, so I'll totally make it awkward. But now that I'm actually officially second ward councilwoman, completely different. But I made a post actually last night, and this is the thing is everybody's like, what are you gonna do now that you're official? I'm gonna go around house to house again and say, hey, I just want to introduce myself, even the people that didn't vote for me.
Yeah.
I want to go around house to house and introduce myself and say, because at the end of the day, it takes teamwork to make the dream work.
Yes.
And I want my constituents to know that regardless if you voted for me or not, I'm still here for you. I don't care if you voted for me or not.
Right.
Like, I want to do what is best not only for my ward, but the entire community. And I felt like people thought that I was running for the wrong reasons. I truly, wholeheartedly want what is best for everybody. And my main reason for running was I was tired of the taxpayers getting punished, essentially, for people's lies, blatant negligence, so much.
Yeah.
So much has gotten taken on the taxpayers, and it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Like, that does not
Tax
matter.
dollars are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was my main reason.
Yeah.
Real quick, you said you're going to plan on going back house to house. So one thing that I learned with my interview with you was the fact that businesses in Ward 2, so again, Ward 2 is like their downtown Hannibal. That's like where the...
It goes further out than that. It's just kind of awkward as far as the lines, but it includes Main Street, which is a lot of the small businesses downtown.
Where the
heart.
festivals are. It is, the heart, if you will. So you're going to go to all of the residents, even though the businesses don't have a say-so as business owners. Do you plan on going to all the businesses on Main Street to find out like what they can do for, or what you can do for them?
Okay, that is one of the many, many, many frustrations and things that I would like to change and or fix. So January of 2016 is when I opened the lounge. And unless you're like a chamber member, they don't come in, they don't welcome you, they don't do anything to help you. You know, I didn't get no
You're
welcome.
not in the clique.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm not a cliquey person.
Yeah, too.
Like, I'm not a cliquey person, and that's fine with me. I don't need anybody backing me up, and I think now people kind of realize that. I'm like, screw baby showers. Can we have like business showers? Like going around, regardless if you're in a chamber or not, can we go around and just like welcome other businesses? Like, regardless if you're in the chamber or not, like, hey, I've had my business on Main Street for X amount of years. What can I do to help you? Is there anything you can, like, just making people
ideas.
feel welcome? And there's not that, because everybody thinks that, like, for example, I'm a bar. So other bars like see me as a threat, and not to be cocky, but we all have something different to offer.
Clientele.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that a long time ago, long before you ever like were opening or like running for anything. But I do remember that, like, where you were wanting or striving for the businesses to work together because of the mere fact that you all have a little something different to offer and you're bigger together. We do see that, I think, in a lot of things, like in cliques, like even in our downtown, and I say it's a clique, but it is a clique because
agreed.
I mean, some people are allowed in it, and then there are like, situations where like, oh, you don't fit
the bill
thing, so maybe you're not in it. But with Hannibal, I would assume anything on Main Street should be in it, especially if you're the one corralling it. Like,
I want to try to attempt, and I say attempt because I don't know. I'm still new to this, and I've spent the last year especially kind of educating myself through just like reading through our charter and asking questions, calling, doing anything I possibly can to learn, but there's always so much more room to like grow and learn. But that's something that I want to attempt to try to change, because I feel like there's so many events and festivals that have happened on Main Street, and there's nothing like the small business owners can do. Like, they're not, so you vote based on your residency. So a lot of the small businesses, with the exception of myself and a couple others that live above their business. So if that's not your you can't vote, you can't have a say.
That's what I'm saying.
It does make a difference. So, regardless that they can vote, I still want to go around and be like, hey, what can I do? Where does your frustration lie with any event, festival, or anything in regards to the Second Ward?
Now, as far as chambers, because you brought this up, now in Hannibal, I think in Quincy, you pay to be a part of our Chamber of Commerce. So,
same there.
So you do.
No, I'm not part of the chamber.
Okay, so you choose not to be a part of that. So, but that doesn't mean that there can't be an all-encompassing group that you really don't have to pay for, because
people have said you should start your own group, because there's other business owners like that.
The optics are, at least from where I stand, because I'm not super familiar with how things work in Hannibal as far as business ownership and how you guys all get together, but it seems from an outsider's perspective that when you have events, it seems like everybody kind of gets involved and you all have your own, let's say you're doing like Ladies Chocolate Day or whatever the hell it is, you all offer something different to bring people in.
It's so the maybe chocolate extravaganza.
That's it.
Get it right.
Sorry, but okay. But that's just one example of an event. But it seems like whether you're all in this clique or not, you all tend to kind of step up to the plate and offer something to give people a reason to come into your business, because you're all in this heart of Hannibal and you're like, you know what, we're going to be involved whether we're invited or not. Is that accurate or not?
Again, I'm going to be honest, because at this point in time, I have nothing to lose,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
So, and I love that you use the word clique. Because
Well, I mean, it kind of is, and it's unavoidable.
It is.
But you do. I've watched you do it. If you're not part of the chamber, and like, I mean, anytime
And that's
I've
the
seen
thing
the
is,
chocolate-
I've never been part of the chamber. I used to be involved with another group downtown, and you paid your dues. You would volunteer and do this and that. And after 2 years of paying my dues when I first opened and volunteering and doing this and that, and blatantly being disincluded from every event and festival, I was like, listen, I'm done. I'm done. Like
I'm not going to pay for my own punishment.
Why
Yes.
are you blatantly included or discluded? Sorry. Like, what do you think is the reason why you were?
I know the reason why, and
If you don't want to
now,
say it, you don't
now
have
that
to.
I'm on council, I just don't really think
You don't have to say it.
I was just wondering.
but I will say, when I finally like decided I'm done, this has been 2 years. It was literally, ironically, right before the chocolate extravaganza, and I was like, I'm done. I will put a 40-foot chocolate fountain in front of my business if I have to. And this is the thing is, I was done at that point in time. I was disincluded. And everybody knows I kind of like go over the top, and I've always offered over 20 different chocolate martinis.
Yeah.
And I was still slammed that week, and I'm like, I've been paying dues and like volunteering for
Yeah.
nothing. Like, people love my establishment.
Yeah.
Which will not be an option anymore because I'm actually
Let's talk about your
officially-
establishment.
What?
Officially.
What? What? What are you telling
All right,
us?
April, spill the beans. Spill the tea.
Officially, very, very, I want to say like 3-4 people know, but I have officially sold my building. I close on the property May 15th.
Cry.
Wow, I just got
But I
kind
didn't
of
sell
emotional.
the, okay, but I didn't sell the business. I sold the building, and so I still have La Azotea Lounge.
Okay.
So that will still be under you?
Yeah, it's still
So it's
it's
not
still
gonna change?
bittersweet nonetheless, because people don't understand, like, having a brick and mortar, the overhead is just astronomical.
yeah, it's crazy.
But the amount of like weddings and events I've had to turn down, I'm like, let me just convert a horse trailer into a mobile bar and do all these weddings and festivals. Like, they block off on Main Street and have very, very low overhead. So if you decide to have
So this is
a party at your house and you want a bar or bartender, like, I can roll up.
We've always
and-
talked
Alright.
about mobile bars. You
So
know
work
that.
smart, not hard,
Yeah.
right?
That's not my plan moving
it could be.
forward, but it's something that
The lounge on wheels.
But officially, La Azotea is.
I'm closing on the building May 15th.
Now, was this due to you winning? Did it have something to do with that?
No, so actually I put the building for sale by owner January of last year, and
Okay.
I've had a couple deals fall through for funding reasons
Yeah, various
on
reasons.
the buyers, and I was actually just getting ready to officially list it with a realtor, and as of, I guess it was last Friday, like, signed, and I've been very, very low key because with everything going on with
Yeah.
campaigning and the election, I was like, listen, we don't need to like air
But-
this out.
Is
One thing at a
that is
time.
La Azotea still secured in that?
Yeah,
sale?
so I still own La Azotea Lounge, the business. It's just I sold the building.
I get it. They're
And
gonna
I'm-
keep that lounge there. Is what I'm asking.
No, so I own
The name.
that, like, the name, the business, like
Will
all my
still
craft
be at that
cocktails.
building.
No.
No.
So she
No,
sold
so-
the building.
yeah, I
so
sold the
whoever
building.
has
Whoever-
bought it is putting in whatever they want.
Yeah, so I'm
Where's
not
your
sh-
lounge going? Maybe and the mobile.
undecided
To
at this
be
point in time.
determined.
Yeah, to be determined.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll recruit you guys to like come. Like,
Listen, I love to bartend.
I feel like everyone sees the despair on my face because it really was like
Yeah, I think
one
this
of
is a
my
surprise to
favorite.
Brit.
Yeah.
I have not told hardly anybody, just
Yeah.
a couple
Way to
people, and I
not
was
tell
kind
me
of
before this.
I know, but I was like kind of excited because I wanted.
I'm excited for you too. Don't get me
I
wrong.
wanted to like officially announce this to the public on my
Muddy River
interview
News.
today.
I really
Club Muddy
hope-
exclusive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
I hope the new owners do see your vision and what you had, because that was like a great establishment to downtown Hannibal. craft cocktails, awesome games. I didn't feel uncomfortable bringing my daughter in there.
Right,
Like
right.
Well, and that's
after
the thing. It's like
dinner.
I was kid friendly and obviously animal friendly because
That
I like
was
animals
always
over
fun.
people.
Yes.
But I'm like, if your dogs are like, well behaved, bring your dogs in. Like, I'll throw some chalk out back. Let your dogs run around.
Yeah.
Let your kids play and do chalk. You know, whatever. You guys came down a couple of times.
Yeah,
And I was like,
absolutely.
hey.
So
Okay.
how long did you have that business?
So January of this year would have been 9 years.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So you have experience in Hannibal. How long have you lived in Hannibal?
Almost a little over 19 years.
Okay,
Wow.
19 years. So you know the ins and outs. You may not know the ins and outs of city council and what it takes to be on the city council as a spokesperson for your constituents yet, but I have no doubt that you're going to get there. As far as the process going in, and if you were going somewhere different, take it away, sister. But as far as the process moving into this, of course you had the idea of wanting to make sure that things were uncovered, that you were doing the best things for your taxpayers. Was there one specific time or event that you were like, hell yeah, I'm running this, you cannot stop me now? Was there something that like set it
What
off?
was the trigger?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you had a lot, but what was the last straw?
So many like locals, regulars, people have been like, you should run for mayor. And I'm like, no, because
Step back.
there's no, the way our charter is laid out, there's no power in the mayor. Like he has no veto power. Like he's not him or
He
her.
is the same as,
Well,
he or
but-
she is the same as the ward person, right?
No,
Same
absolutely
vote?
not.
Well,
And that's what I want to address is like, so the mayor is technically, and I have brought this up at many council meetings, but it has become a comfort factor. You know, they've done it so long the same way, and just because you do it like that doesn't mean it's necessarily right. So the way our charter is laid out is, so the only time that the mayor is technically supposed to vote is when there's a tie.
Like a
and
deadlock.
that vote of the mayor's is supposed to be the tiebreaker, but our mayor has voted alongside the council for so long it's become a comfort factor.
Okay, so like I always thought that was the difference
Nope.
between Quincy and Hannibal because
Nope.
in our
We're a home rule charter.
thing,
I'm not sure what you guys are.
I'm not sure either, but I know
are
that the
too.
only
Are
time
you?
That's what Bob says.
Hey,
The only
Illinois,
time-
Missouri is different for
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
But the only time Quincy's mayor votes is for a tiebreaker. I was always under the impression that the mayor got to vote along the alderman or the ward.
Councilman,
Councilman, sorry.
Yeah, you guys
in
have
every
two aldermen
issue.
for every ward
So
here,
the
right?
mayor doesn't
Yeah,
get
we
to.
So
or
the
is
mayor,
not supposed
technically,
to.
the mayor is only supposed to vote when there needs to be a tiebreaker.
Now, how many times did the mayor vote?
Every time, for a very long time. I've brought it up multiple times at council meetings, and they're like, yes, he is. And I'm like, because it's become a comfort factor, because the amount of times I've called and confirmed things with the state, I've talked to the Missouri Ethics Commission, I've talked to the Attorney General's office.
Why?
Like, I do my due diligence, and
Yeah.
I've researched and educated myself on so much. And I do know that our incoming new mayor, Darryl McCoy, said that is one of the things like he wants to change. And I've had some really, really good in-depth conversations with him about things. There's so many things on our charter that need changed, fixed, updated.
Just
updated.
revisited.
So you and Daryl McCoy are cool?
Yes. I mean,
You're going to hold the door open for him at the grocery store?
at the end of the day, he is our mayor. And just like some of the people on council, they've been kind of wish-washy as far as like, I'm for transparency, I'm not for transparency, I'm for transparency.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still have to work with everybody on council. And like I said, at the end of the day, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. So
Is there anybody that you wouldn't hold the door open for after this election?
Well, she's pleading the fifth.
I love it.
But I think, I mean, you're right in saying that I think no one steps up to the plate to
there's
run.
a reason why nobody wants to run for
Right?
city council or leaves before their term is done.
Okay, but there's a reason that you kind of wade through the mudslinging. You wade through all of that crap. There's a reason you want to do it, and
I decided 2 days before the deadline to kind of decide whether or not to the deadline, December 31st, like to the deadline, signed up last minute, and I'm literally sitting in the city clerk's office getting ready to sign my official paperwork, and like my pin, I'm like hesitating, and the city clerk is like, "Are you gonna sign?" And I was like, "I don't know.
Give me a
I don't
second
know.
here."
Let me think about it.
Okay, so to be clear, because there have been a lot of people saying that I don't know if it's Stefan Franke.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it,
Stefan
okay.
Franke, yeah.
Stefan Franke.
Stefan
So
Franke.
he's been in the news a little bit. I mean, it's been in the past, but there have been some rumblings rumblings that he's the one who told you to run. Is this accurate, not accurate? I want to clear the news
Okay,
here.
yeah,
And
I appreciate you bringing that up
for
because
sure.
there's been so many like comments and things said. And so I originally started going before council like 8 or so years ago with trying to get our animal ordinance changed.
That's
Everybody
where
knows,
I really wanted to start this out. I was like, do you remember like where you started? And it was for the dog.
Yeah, I'm like a huge, honestly, I choose animals over people. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, but go ahead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I
he did
start.
not.
That's where I started,
Okay.
and then there was like kind of like a good gap. And then when I found out that there were false allegations made against a councilman, Stephen Franke, this is the thing is, Stephen had come in my business a couple times. I really didn't know him. And anybody that truly knows me, I don't need anybody to put me up. I do what I want, when I want, where I want. I don't need anybody to push me, to put me up to doing anything. To me, at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. And like morally, I was just disgusted with what they were doing because with any business, like sexual harassment has to be taken seriously.
Sure.
And as a female, the soon-to-be gone city manager, because I believe May 12th is her last day, and our previous city clerk made false allegations that have been proven to be false. One of the allegations, you can go back, because she claimed it happened at a public council meeting, that you can go back and watch and see never happened. And so my frustration lied with, this is a councilman that, like I said, I knew who he was, but I didn't really know him.
Right.
He was so proactive, and I want to say he was in like the honeymoon phase of being like a new councilman, asking all the right questions and being involved, and he unintentionally, accidentally at a public council meeting asked why we weren't doing exit interviews because we were losing so many like city employees, and who was supposed to be doing these, and come to find out it's one of the people that was making the false allegations. And it came full circle and things started making sense. And at the end of the day, knowing that it was going to cost the taxpayers for lies, blatant lies.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is not right. And so there was a lapse between fighting to get the animal ordinance changed and this. And so I started going before them about 2 years ago, trying to hold them accountable and like push for accountability and transparency, which, mind you, is how it's supposed to be. The fact that I'm fighting for, like, this is any city, any city.
Right.
I was just like kind of dumbfounded, and I was like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
This
I
isn't
think
right.
that's the trigger with new people. I don't want to say new people, but young people that are just starting to get into government. Like, you know, I think the thing that put the fire up my ass once I was like, oh, I'm not going to ignore the news anymore, was this whole transparency issue.
Yeah.
Like what you were just saying, it's
I haven't wa-
supposed to be
I haven't
important.
watched TV in like 10 years, so.
But like, it made me think, like, time out. Why is this not just there? Like, that's,
Why isn't it just status quo?
especially at this low level, I don't want to even say low level, but you know, we are at the lowest level of government when it comes to city, townships, this, and this. We don't trust our federal government. I don't know who does.
Okay, but this
But like, if we can't trust our
Yeah.
The
people
second
that are our neighbors
special
that we're
election-
holding our doors open
Oh,
for,
absolutely. Yeah.
then who can we trust at
But this
this point?
the special runoff election between Tammy and I, like, I know people were joking, but I totally got, like, I would be walking my dogs downtown, and they're like, hey, the presidential election is coming up, because of the way that they've run me through the mud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a small city, like,
Don't dismiss it.
It's definitely
it was
not
a huge,
necessary.
No,
It's-
but
it was just
still,
insane.
It's still a
It was
huge ward.
insane.
It's an important ward, and this is why, like, I think we at Muddy River News drive it up as well. Like, I know you know this. Ward 2, being the downtown, like she was saying, the heart, it is big news when it comes to local
very
elections.
important.
yeah,
It's
but it was
very
really frustrating. Like, I went into this thing,
I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, no,
Next
I
thing you
get it,
know-
but like, it's just like, I went into this, mind you, what people fail to realize or remember or think about is like, I went through 2 years of basically hell. So people saying I went into this for the wrong reasons or I'm doing this for the wrong reasons.
They've
You
never
think I
ran.
willingly signed up to run for city council?
They've never
knowing that what they've done to me the last 2 years, you think I went in knowing they were going to run me through the mud, say lies, do anything they could?
You knew.
Like,
I feel like you knew that was going to happen. But
Oh,
the
110%.
fuel, like you just said, I had 2 years underneath this. I
Yeah.
had the fuel under my fire.
yeah.
I had it going. I was ready.
Yeah.
Well,
This
and the
wasn't
more you
just,
make my life a living hell, the more it does fuel my fire. And the more that they tried to belittle me, put me down, or essentially shut me up with the things they were doing, people don't realize behind the scenes what they were actually doing. I mean, I would not do or wish on my worst enemy what they've done to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say this is probably just the beginning, because if you're planning to uncover things like you just talked about, just a couple key points that you feel were handled incorrectly, you're about to be faced with so many more. I have this feeling that you're just kind of tiptoeing into this deep pool of probably shit.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, and I don't have any doubt in my mind that you're the person cut out to do this, and knowing that it's for the downtown and that all of these things are at stake, you are a great person to come in with hopefully an open mind and a strong conviction and a hope to make things a little more transparent, if not a lot more. Also holding people accountable.
Yes.
I think local government is something that we kind of, once you get involved, and I'm not saying this as somebody who's been in there, but I've seen things from the outside. Once you get involved, people kind of expect you just kind of to meld into what they're doing. And I have no doubt that you're
that's
not
what I
going
said.
to be
I'm not
that
going to be
person.
a yes man.
Yes.
I've said that in many
And I think that that's what local government needs. However, I do think that there needs to be, like you said, you all have to get along because you're all there for the greater good. And sometimes you're going to be faced with things that not all constituents are going to be happy about. You're going to be faced with that. And I think that open communication, again, transparency is going to be really cool. But along those lines, what are a couple of things outside of transparency that you hope to bring to the table?
in regards to the community as a whole?
Yeah,
or,
sure. Yeah.
My biggest thing is, especially with the last 2 years, is to bridge that gap between the city and the citizens, because the citizens have lost so much trust with this city. And I'm not even kidding you. I feel like from the time I got the official results, the amount of people that have been like, oh, we need this fixed in our ward. And
What is the first thing? Like when they say we need this, what's
What's the big? What is the big rock?
I feel like every city, like potholes,
Transparency.
sidewalks, everything.
Is transparency like a big one?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But as far as like, so Hannibal specifically, Hannibal is a very, very touristy town. And this is something I definitely want to, and I have many times on social media, is a lot of the locals feel like the city has kind of made tourist their number one, we cater to the tourist.
Yeah,
and
take
and
care of
kind
Hannibal
of,
first.
and don't really think about their citizens. And this is what I want to say is like,
Hannibulians. Yeah. What do you call them?
I don't know, because somebody said that word a while back.
I'm saying. Okay, I say Hannibulians, and he hates me for it.
Hannibalians is what I say.
Okay, so somebody made like some post or comment anonymously, which honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like anonymous posts should not be allowed.
They're not allowed here.
I don't do those.
And somebody had used
Hannibulian?
Hannibulian.
No, I say Hannibulian.
Hannibulian. She says
Hannibulian.
Hannibulians, and I say Hannibalians.
I thought it was
God.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get her this time.
But period, point blank, like at the end of the day, tourists coming to our town, festivals get bigger and bigger every year. I want to say like 150,000 people on Main Street just
incredible.
4th of July weekend
Yeah.
alone. And those tourists add to the income coming into our general revenue.
Yep.
So we do appreciate them, but I want to let the citizens know, like, you guys are just as important, and
100%.
if not more, you know. And I kind of want to bridge that gap, that gap between the city and the citizens, and let them know, like, we're not going to put up with everything that I kind of went through with like shutting up the citizen. I don't care how big or small your question or concern is. I'm here to listen to you, ward or not. I don't care if you're in second ward or not. If you can't get a hold of your councilman, I'm
There's
here to
an
listen.
issue.
I'm here to listen. No matter what. I don't care how big or small.
Yeah.
Like, it takes teamwork to make the dream work.
Absolutely.
And that's why she has 2 phones, soon to be 3. She
Yeah.
is always there, always available, and
I love meeting new people too.
I'm excited
Hey
to see
Ashley,
what you
remember
do.
that one time that we ran for
I
council?
know, I almost wore my shirt, which is so funny.
What is it? What is it?
One time we ran for council. I don't know what it was for, but it was
No,
back
we
in
were
24.
listen, we don't have to be on any council. We speak our mind and we try to make connections anyway, and we hold people accountable, which I think is just so important.
And
I love that.
As do you. That's why
Yeah.
I'm cheersing to you, April.
cheers.
As hey, congratulations
Cheers.
on your
Congratulations,
win.
good luck.
Thank
I hope
you.
that
Thank
you
you
come
so
back.
much for being here.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like you're just dipping your toe into this
I'm cool
mud
with
puddle,
it.
but
I don't
yeah.
need anybody staying behind me. I'll like head first. I'm ready to dive in. Like
Yeah.
I am so excited. I'm ready.
Now, do you guys live stream your city council meetings? Because I am gonna watch this shit.
Yes, on YouTube. I've been going live because our feed, that's one of the things.
Yeah.
It needs to be
She's gonna
addressed.
address
It's
Okay.
gonna be like Jersey Shore.
Well, I can't wait to watch this. I think it's going to be very important. And you know,
May 6th. I've had
Okay.
a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, when are you getting sworn in officially?
yeah.
So many people are like, when are you getting sworn in? May 6th council meeting, I officially get sworn in, and so many people are like, we're coming to like be clapping.
Blowing bubbles.
I'm like,
Blowing bubbles, throwing
I'm
rice.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna cry. Because it's just been a long road, but May 6th, if anybody wants to
Yes.
come, I get sworn in officially.
Well,
May
maybe
6th.
we'll be there. Regardless, we wish you nothing but the best of
Thank
luck.
you.
And our
We
neighbors.
hope to hear from you soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have you back here on the Club Money. You've been
Definitely.
an amazing guest. Thank you
100%.
so much. And
Well,
thank
that's
you,
the
like
thing
I
is,
said.
I'm happy to answer any questions on black and white. So.
Again, agreed. Win or lose. That's
Yeah.
some
Hey, real
big
quick,
kahunas.
real quick, if people want to get a hold of you in Hannibal,
Yep.
how do they reach
Okay,
you?
so until I officially get sworn in,
has her third phone.
Yes.
so I will have a city line, I'm assuming. You can still reach out to me either via social media or on my campaign page. I still have that email, and it's April 4, F-O-R, Ward, W-A-R-2, @yahoo.com. But that's the thing is, like, if you come downtown, you're walking in front of my business.
You know where to find me.
People see my dogs in the window, my cat in the window. Knock on the door. I'll let
That's
you
what I
in.
was going to say.
Come
Knock on
hang
the door.
out. Like,
Sometimes it might be locked or something, and I'm always knocking.
Yeah,
and
knock
she
on the
hears
window.
me.
I love the amount of like citizens I've met in the last 2 months. Like, I love meeting new people. And
Yeah.
if you don't mind dogs or like my cat Atlas chilling in the window, knock on the window. Come in. Knock on the door.
Oh, that was the other thing I want to mention, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so a lot of people were struggling through the last storm and the right, and you graciously reached out and you were like, as long as you don't mind dogs, you have a place here anytime.
Yeah.
I think that is another endearing quality. So you not only have the connection, you have the heart, you have accountability, transparency. I think that you are.
And
I think
charitable nature.
Yeah, I think the right person won this. I
For
don't
a
know the other gal,
long
but
time.
I'm sorry you went through what you went through to get here. But I have no doubt that it set you up to for a long line of success and also Hannibal. So congratulations.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you for coming
Thank
on,
you.
Brittany. Thank you for getting her. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, April. I'm hugging
yes.
you. I'm like crying.
Cheers.
It's still
Look
like
forward
it's
to-
still like weird.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm officially like
thank
the
you, man.
second
You guys.
ward council.
Congratulations.
April
look forward to seeing what you
Azotea.
do.